Hello, this is MadLove44 here, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be discussing the Tourney at Harrenhall, and there is a very good reason for this. In the news this week and the previous week, there has been a new set photo or location released, and it seems to look a lot like an arena, similar to Daznak's Pit in Marine. Now, with this new set image, the theories have been coming in for what role this location will play in Season 7 of Game of Thrones. And the most widely accepted theory at this time is that the place will be the setting for the infamous Tourney at Harrenhall. So in this video, I'll be explaining and breaking down the events that took place there and why it is such an important event in the history of Westeros. First off, we're going to start with the background. The tournament was held by Lord Went, who at the time ruled Harrenhall, hence the name of the tourney. The prizes offered were amazing, far greater than those offered by Tywin Lannister in the tourney of Lannisport to celebrate the birth of Prince Viserys 4 years prior. Therefore, hundreds of challengers appeared to compete from all over the Seven Kingdoms. There is a very heavily supported theory that the tournament was not arranged by Lord Went. He didn't have the wealth to do this, but rather by Rhaegar Targaryen to meet with the major lords of the Seven Kingdoms. It wasn't uncommon for there to be a funder behind tournaments to gain influence within these sort of events. It wasn't uncommon for there to be someone behind the scenes funding an event like this, and in this case it could be Rhaegar Targaryen. This would be to meet with the major lords of the Seven Kingdoms and discuss the future. At this point in history, the current king, Aerys II, started going mad and earning his name, the Mad King. The realm was deteriorating, and the theory states that Rhaegar was planning to overthrow his father, so arranged a tourney to meet all the lords and plan the revolution. As Aerys had not left King's Landing in years, so would be unlikely to attend a tournament at all. However, Varys told Aerys about this plan, so for the first time in years the king left the Red Keep and attended the tourney. Now this is weird, as we see that Varys has been sort of supporting the Targaryen restoration. Here he's sort of trying to prevent it, if that makes sense. He's trying to prevent the reign from continuing, which is a bit odd, but perhaps Varys has other loyalties, perhaps with the Blackfires, but that's a theory for another time. The events during the joust were the most important events of the whole tournament, and there are two main events that took place. The first event was the incident concerning the Knight of the Laughing Tree. A young Howland Reed, father of Mira and Jojen as we all now know him, was in attendance at the tournament. He was around 18 at the time, perhaps a bit older, and was bullied by three 15-year-old squires. And although Howland was already a man, he was smaller in size than the other boys, and they easily took away his trident, and Howland was beaten and abused until Lyanna Stark arrived, beating away the three squires with a tawny sword. The next day, the knights, who were squired for by the three squires, were all beaten in the joust by a mysterious knight who carried a shield with a weirwood tree with a bright red, smiling mouth on, showing the relationship between the knight and the north. After the knights were defeated, the Knight of the Laughing Tree asked them to scold their squires for their behaviour. Many of the people at the tournament wished to see the knight unmasked, including the king, who believed the knight to be an enemy of his. He sent Rhaegar to find him, but the knight had disappeared, and all he could recover was the knight's shield, hidden in a tree. There are many theories regarding who this knight was, and the main one is that the knight is Lyanna Stark. After seeing Howland beaten up by the squires, she seeks revenge on them. The knight is smaller than average, and so is Lyanna. This could also point at Howland being the knight, but as seen in the events of the previous day, Howland was not a fighter, and Lyanna was shown herself as a strong horse rider and also fighter, so it would not be hard for her to cause an upset. The knights weren't very prominent within the kingdom, so it would not have been hard to defeat. Lyanna was much like Arya as a child, always wanting to fight, so she had adequate training to defeat the men. Furthermore, the knight had mismatched armour, so does not have access to a proper set, something that Lyanna's brothers would have, who are the only other people that knew about the events of the previous day. Lyanna would not have access to this armour, so would have to make do with what she could find. So the most accepted theory is that Lyanna was the Knight of the Laughing Tree. The second main event at the Tourney of Harrenhall was the crowning of Queen of Love and Beauty. The winner of the joust in all tournaments was allowed to crown a Queen of Love and Beauty, the woman who the victor believed to be the most beautiful woman in all of the lands. Rhaegar won the joust after defeating Barristan Selmy in the final, and to the shock of many, he crowned Lyanna Stark as the Queen, instead of his wife, Elia Martell. On top of this, Lyanna was already betrothed to Robert Baratheon. This event, combined with the later event of the abduction of Lyanna, kick-started the War of the Usurper and the end of the Targaryen rule in the Seven Kingdoms. So in Season 7, we could perhaps see a flashback to this day. Bran would be intrigued about the events surrounding Jon Snow's birth after discovering his parentage at the end of Season 6, and this day would be one of the events leading up to that birth, one of the very important dates. With this and the new location, it is very possible that we will be seeing a flashback to the tourney at Harrenhal. We may not see the Night of the Laughing Tree, but the crowning of Lyanna is almost definite. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you did like it, please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. What do you think? Leave your responses in the comments. What do you think this new location is going to actually be? Do you agree with me? Will it be Harrenhal, or do you think it's going to be something else? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you next time.